Hey everyone, Liz here from the Nail Hub, and I hope you have enjoyed all of the videos that Herman did with you about mindset up until this point on our Nail Business Fundamentals playlist. He is an absolute expert when it comes to people management, mindset, all of those different strategies that he discussed. And I'm so excited that he was able to share that with you because he has not been a major part of my channel up until this point, other than being a hand model once in a while. And so it's really exciting for him to be a part of this and to share all of his expertise. So I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Today, I wanted to talk about, as we move forward with the progression of these videos within this Nail Business Fundamentals playlist, and I know a lot of you have already commented and asked specific questions, and we have written down all of those different ideas for videos, but there are a couple things that I would consider lifesavers that I have seen happening quite a bit within the professional industry that I think I should start with so that we can get those out of the way first. You guys can implement some of the kind of more, if you want to call them, emergency strategies to really revamp some of the stuff that's maybe already happening to your business. And then once we get those things accomplished for you, then we can start to kind of rebuild from scratch, if you want to say it that way. So one of the first things that I wanted to talk about is the frequency with which I see on social media and everywhere this statement about no longer accepting new clients. I see this all the time. And I cannot tell you how damaging and how incorrect it is to post something like no longer accepting new clients on your business, okay? Now, I wanted to go into some slides to discuss this because I think it's important to give you guys a visual of what we're actually talking about when it comes to the progression as a nail tech. So obviously when we start our career, when we first start and we first start working and we're trying to make money and we're trying to get ourselves booked, we have very few clients. Most of you are probably going to be in a situation where you're working inside of someone else's salon. Maybe you're working along someone else inside of a salon suite. Maybe you do branch out on your own and you're all alone from day one and you have very few clients. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows that you're offering services. It's all brand new and we're having to build our clientele. So on this graph, you can see on the y-axis, I have clientele. On the x-axis, I have time. And you can see that as our career moves forward, our clientele usually grows and grows and grows. So what most people in the beauty industry, and specifically nail techs, obviously, because that's the group of people that we're addressing with these videos, is most nail technicians think that once they get fully booked, which means that they can no longer fit any more people inside of their appointment book, and we'll kind of get into some of those efficiencies as well, but I would consider fully booked where you are working on 6 to 7 clients a day for upwards of 4 to 5 days a week. Most of us want to have at least one day off, which you should be able to have at least one day off. And if you're not, this is also going to apply to you. But if you're working maybe 4 or 5 days a week, you should be fully booked if you are able to book 6 to 7 clients a day. If you are only booking 3 to 4 clients a day, I would argue that you're not efficiently using your time, okay? And again, that's going to change as you get faster in being able to provide services, as you're able to become more of an efficient nail technician, all that's going to change. But a lot of us have the mindset that once we get to the point where we can't go past, like we're already working 10 hours a day or something like that, and we can't book any more people in those 10-hour days that we're doing 5 days a week, we consider ourselves fully booked, right? So we go all the way across, we have few, then we have more clients, then we start finding our groove with our clientele, and then we get to a point where we're like, we just can't book any more people, we're tapped out, we're fully booked, and most people are now putting no longer accepting new clients on their Instagram or, on their social media when they get to this quote unquote fully booked status. But what does fully booked actually look like if we do this to ourselves? Fully booked only takes into consideration your current status of your business. It takes into the fact that you can only work on so many people a day, right? So maybe you need to work on your time in order to be able to get to the point that you're able to do 6 to 7 clients a day. So again, if you're thinking you're fully booked with only 3 to 4 people a day, I would argue that you aren't actually fully booked and you need to look at some efficiencies with how to do these services faster, or including maybe some more services that require less time. Depends on what you're specializing in, but even if you're doing long custom extensions, you should be able to book people every 2.5 hours. So you should be able to do 5 clients a day, something like that. And obviously the price point is going to hopefully account for that rather than doing 6 or 7 gel polish clients or something that's a little bit more basic, okay? But what's interesting is the price point that you started out with, which is the main factor in why you are currently fully booked, is that you are still using the same price point that you used when you were a brand new nail technician and you only had a few clientele, right? So you started out and you're like, hey, I'm not a great nail technician. I'm slow. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going to base my pricing off of someone else that I've seen. So I'm going to charge like $35 for a gel polish manicure. Okay, great. So you're charging $35 for a gel polish manicure. You get 7 clients a day that are paying you $35 for a gel polish manicure. So then you say, okay, I've done that 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I'm fully booked now. And maybe some of you are even working 7 days a week, which is just going to lead to you getting burned out. But what happens is you get to a point of stagnation. Doing nails is not a scalable business. Scalable means we can't always do more volume, right? There's no way that there's going to be a point that we get to as a nail technician that we can't possibly physically do any more nail appointments in a given day. Even if you're a wizard and you're able to do 10 appointments a day because you're wicked fast at gel polish, there's going to be a day that you come to that you're going to go, I'm tapped out. I can't have any more clients, okay? And we'll look at that as we talk about client booking and things like that and how many is fully booked. But I wanted just to give you a general mindset idea of this client evolution. So we think, right? We think we're fully booked. But if we look at a more long-term view, the green bars are going to be that original view of where we were building up to where we think we're fully booked. But then we actually stagnate because we're not taking on any new clients. We're charging the same amount of money, we're doing the same clientele, and we just stay there forever and ever and ever and ever. And this is the problem plaguing most nail technicians. Most of you aren't making more than $25,000 a year, and yet you're still posting things like no longer accepting new clients because you're thinking of it from a book perspective, you're thinking of it from a time management perspective, and you're not thinking about shedding clientele in an effort to get new clientele. You're not thinking about efficiencies. You're not thinking about increasing prices. You're not thinking about any of that stuff, okay? So if this situation applies to you and you have put no longer accepting new clients, here is my initial challenge for you, okay? And I'm going to cover how to do this in my next video, but this is the challenge. I want you to raise your prices by 20%. And no, you're not going to give people a heads up. You're just going to do it. You're going to pick a line in the sand and you're going to say, after this date, everything is going to go up by 20%. You're going to change all the pricing on your booking systems. You're going to have everything go up. Everything is going to go up by 20%. By doing that, you're going to lose approximately 20% of your clientele. You're going to advertise yourself again out there. You're going to get more people, whether it be from your list of people waiting to get in with you that supposedly you're fully booked and can't take any new clients. And a lot of you are probably building a waiting list for people that want appointment spots or are waiting for cancellation spots. You're going to charge those new clientele 20% more than the old clientele that left. And guess what? You're going to get fully booked again, but you're going to be charging 20% more than you were yesterday, which means that you're going to be making 20% more money. And you're going to continue this evolution until the point that you're actually making a reasonable salary, because there is the absolute possibility to make upwards of $50,000 to $60,000 a year as a nail technician, but you saying that you are fully booked and no longer accepting new clients is not part of that solution. So I want you to seriously reconsider if you have this posted on your social media. I want you to write below in the comments and I want you to tell me why you think that's valid that you have no longer accepting clients after watching this video, why you think that's a valid statement to have on your social media. Unless you literally don't need your nail income to support yourself And, I would argue that if you're working, you should have your salary support yourself. What's the point of working if we're not actually supporting ourselves? Even if you have a husband, even if you have a family trust, even if you're a billionaire and you're just doing nails for fun, what's the point of working and doing all of that if you're not actually being the best that you can be and you're making the most profit that you can and you're not actually a well-oiled, efficient business, right? Even if we don't need these things, we should be doing them well, and this is part of it. So most of you are relying on your income from being a nail technician, or you think that you're making an income when in reality you're probably breaking even, or the average nail technician, I think in the US, makes something like $13,000 a year. I don't know how anyone can support anything on $13,000 a year these days with how expensive everything has become. So this is my challenge to you. If you currently have no longer accepting new clients, I want you to comment below and say why you put that up. And I want to challenge you with increasing your prices, because most of you are undercharging. I want you to increase your prices by 20%. I want you to lose clientele on purpose. And I want you to fill those blanks in your book with people that are paying you 20% more. And you would also be shocked with how many of your clients mentally think that they are underpaying you just because they're going with your flow. So there are going to be absolute loyalists who are going to stick with you, but you are going to shed some of those clients that are not paying you what you're worth at this point. And if you are someone who is fully booked, that means that you already have excellent skills, excellent, marketing capabilities, that you've already got people who know about you that are coming in. So it's a very low risk factor to do. Okay. So this is going to be my initial challenge for you. Comment below. And the next video, I'm going to get into talking about some of the faults that you guys have in your service pricing. Service pricing is a very complex topic, but we're going to start to break down service pricing in generalizations, and then I'll be able to get into it in a more detailed way as we have more time for you to implement. But I want you guys to understand some of the best practices behind service pricing, and then we'll go into a deep dive on how you should really be revamping your service pricing from scratch. But I'm kind of throwing you guys a little bit of a lifesaver here. Put on a life jacket, get some of these things turned around for yourself, and then we're going to move into the detailed fundamentals behind why we're going to do this, and we're going to rebuild some stuff from scratch after you've got some of these fundamental changes done. But now that you guys have this mindset, and now that you guys are ready to make changes on your business, I wanted to throw out this initial one that I have seen time and time again, this vast problem that I see across a whole bunch of people. Nail techs are copying one another. They're going, oh yeah, I'm fully booked, as some kind of badge of honor. It is not a badge of honor to say you are fully booked and not accepting new clients. I encourage you to get off that bandwagon and to really start to reanalyze your business, okay? I'll be in touch next time with all the amazing pricing stuff to come. We'll get through some of these top, I would call them low-hanging fruit items, and then we're going to do some deep dive stuff so you guys really understand the how and why behind everything. All right, bye.